So hello everyone and welcome back to another very important video session from your own channel Let's Crack NEET UG English. My name is Vipin Sharma and I am your biology mentor. In this particular video, we are going to talk about the biodiversity in detail. In the very first part of this lecture series, we have talked about the differences between living and non-living things. And we also talked about the characteristic features of living organism. We have talked about the growth as a defining feature, metabolism as a defining feature, reproduction as a defining feature, consciousness as a defining feature, self consciousness as a defining feature, and we found out that which are the absolute defining features of living and which of the following characters have some sort of exceptions. Now, this is part 2 of the chapter, and in this part, as I've already told you guys, we will be talking about the biodiversity and binomial nomenclature. So let's proceed in this lecture and let's talk about the biodiversity and binomial nomenclature in detail, and let's crack this chapter. So guys, these are some credentials of mine. You can have a look if you want. Otherwise, let's proceed. You can also get connected to us via Unacademy's learning app. This app is freely available on Google Play Store. You just need to install this app. You just need to go to the NEET UG section. Okay, since you are preparing for the NEET UG competitive examination. So after installing this app, you need to go to the NEET UG section, and after that you need to click on the get subscription icon. When you are going to click on get subscription, you will be getting all our subscription packages on your screen. The packages are starting from a duration of 1 month, which will cost you around 5,400 rupees, and the package are of 2 years as well. Okay, that will cost you somewhat more, but the overall economic or the more feasible packs are 1 year pack and 2 year pack. So these are the most recommended packs by all the educators of Unacademy, because the monthly cost, if you are going to compare in a short pack and a longer pack, then you will find that these are more economical, and I'm going to give you a comparative analysis of all these packs in coming slides. So what you are going to get with our subscription, you will be getting live classes on daily basis. There are 50 plus top educators of India who are available to you at Plus platform. From those 50 plus educators, you can choose the best for yourself and you can cover your physics, chemistry and biology topics accordingly, and you can prepare for the NEET entrance examination. You can cover up your whole syllabus in a given time. After that, you will be given live tests and quizzes. So there will be questionnaires, there will be quizzes, there will be tests and rank analysis. It means that after each and every quiz, after each and every test, you will be given a rank. On the basis of how many students has participated in the quiz, you can analyze your performance, you can track your performance, and you can make yourself better in each and every quiz, in each and every test. So this is a very good feature of Unacademy Plus subscription. Other than that, the courses are going to be structured. For example, last month I have completed the cell unit. So in that unit there are 3 chapters: cell, the basic unit of life, then biomolecules, and then cell cycle and cell division. So all the 3 chapters are completed in a single course. In this month I am going to do the genetics and evolution. So all the 3 chapters related to genetics, that is molecular basis of inheritance, principles of inheritance and variation, and evolution, will be completed this month. So overall, the courses are really structured and the quizzes are also very structured. Plus, you will be getting unlimited access of each and everything. It means that you will get, okay, all the important things along with their unlimited access. It means that if you want to watch my videos for 10 plus times, you can. There is no upper limit set by the Unacademy educators. There is no upper limit. Okay. So if you want to watch a video for more than 50 times as well, which is irrelevant, but still I'm giving an example to you guys, you can watch it up. All right. So what is Iconic subscription? Iconic subscription is a great plan by Unacademy where you are given a personal mentor, a personal coach. What makes an online coaching different from an offline coaching, or what make an educational platform which is present online different than offline? We are not given coaches, we are not given personal attention. That is the major concern of parents, that in online we are not getting in connection with any of the educators. Here, this is the solution of that problem. You will be given a personal coach who is going to make study plans for you, who is going to set the timetable for you, who is going to do your test analysis just like your class teacher do in each and every unit test, and all the benefit of plus are already included in this particular thing. So since there are all the benefits of plus, there will be an extra coach which is given to you for personal motivation and guidance. So this iconic subscription is going to be a bit costly. So if you are going to compare the prices, then iconic will be having these features more as compared to the standard subscription. In standard plus subscription, there are four major features, 1, 2, 3, 4, which I have already elaborated. In iconic, all these features are included, and other than that, some extra features are also present. Okay, now iconic subscription is a bit costly because there is a personal mentor who is given to you. So 1 year pack iconic subscription is around of 45,000 rupees. But if you will apply this promo code Vipin, that is capital VIPIN, you will be getting 10% discount, and you will be getting this subscription pack in 40,500 only. Plus, if you are going to prepare for this entrance examination for 2 years, let's say you are an student of 11th class and you are going to take coaching or guidance for 11th class and 12th class, and you want to prepare for NEET along with your school classes, then you can go for this pack. This pack is for rupees 61,000, and if you will apply the code WIPIN again, you will be getting this pack for 55,000, even less than that. Okay, the normal or the conventional plus courses are quite cheap, so you can get them at very low prices. The 1 month pack is of around 5,400 rupees. So if you will be taking a subscription of 1 month, it will cost you around 5,400 rupees. But if you will take a subscription pack of 24 month, okay, or 2 year, it will cost you around 1,300 rupees on monthly basis. So it is more economically feasible. Okay, because its cost is 5 times lesser than the initial price. So if you will compare the monthly price of a smaller pack and a larger pack, then you can easily observe the difference. So please make sure to use the code WEAPON to take all your subscriptions, because after using this code you will be getting 10% discount. You will be a part of my personal batch, plus you can watch the videos of any of the educator. If you want to see the videos of some other educators as well, this code is going to be valid for each and everything. You can unlock any plus video by using this particular code, right? All right. So let's talk about biodiversity. Before going into the deep analysis of biodiversity, let me tell you about some basic points that you should understand. So for that, we would be requiring a particular screen. So let's take that screen. What is biodiversity? Let's clear our basic and fundamental concepts. Biodiversity. Okay, biodiversity. So what does this word bio stands for? The bio stands for life, or basically the living organisms. Okay, the living organisms. This is what the bio stands for. And diversity means diverse, that is different. So it stands for the varieties. Okay, okay, or different kind of organisms. So the living organisms, the different type of living organisms present on earth constitutes its biodiversity. So what is the overall definition? The total number of different type of organism, total number of different types of organisms present on earth will represent earth's biodiversity. Everything which looks different represents a species. For example, all humans look different than elephants. So all humans are part of one species only. Okay, one species are going to be exactly similar members of the same group. So we all human beings are looking alike to each other. So all human beings will be forming one species. The number of individual in a particular species can be in thousands, can be in lakh, can be in millions, can be in billion. Okay, for example, we know that the population of humans is billions, is in billions. Okay, so these billions organisms are representing one species only. Similarly, let's say the ants. Okay, let's say there is a specific type of ant called as black ant. So this black ant will be representing a single species, and let's say there are trillion different individuals in that black ant, so they will be representing one species only. Similarly, let's say there is a red ant. Okay, then there is a white ant. So all these will be representing different species as they look different than each other. क्योंकि ये सारी की सारी एंड्स जो हैं एक दूसरे से अलग दिखती हैं, तो ये डिफरेंट स्पीसीज बना लेती हैं जाकर के. ओके, एंड ह्यूमंस, सिंस दे आर same, they are fundamentally same, because each and every human is going to have 206 bones. Okay, each and every human is going to have same number of muscles. Each and every human is going to have same kind of metabolism. Each and every human is going to have same type of organs at the very specified or same positions in their body. We are going to have the same morphology, we are going to have the same anatomy. So overall what we are going to have is we are going to have same fundamental features. And since we are fundamentally similar, we belong to the single species. And if we will be showing some sort of differences, we will become a part of different species. Okay, if we are going to show differences, for example, monkey is different than us, it is a different species. So what is biodiversity? Total number of variety of species found on earth. So what is that total number? The total number comes out to be 1.7 to 1.8 million species, and it is a question that has been already asked in the examination several times. So 1.7 million simply means 17 lakh, and 1.8 million simply means 18 lakh. So 17 to 18 lakh species has been identified till now by a lot of scientists and a lot of researchers. But according to a data given by Robert May, it is a small proportion of all the species present on Earth. It means that according to Robert May, there are many more species that should be found in the coming time. So it is only a fragment of that large number of species. If you are going to explore the new areas, if you are going to explore the old areas, you will be finding even more number of species with coming time. That is something you need to understand carefully. Let me give you a brief introduction of species. This is a diagram that clarifies each and everything in a very beautiful way. Now what you are understanding over here is that there are 42 different type of species which are shown in this single diagram. Okay, there are 42 different type of species of butterfly only which are found in North America. It means that only in North America there are 42 different species of butterfly. So if you will talk about the whole biosphere, if you will talk about the whole earth, there will be more than thousands of species of butterfly. And that is the beauty of our earth. For the very same thing, we have variety of species, because this butterfly looks different than this one, and this butterfly look different than this one, this look different than this one. Each and every butterfly is different in its own way. It means that it represents its own species. So each and every butterfly is different, so it represents its own species. Okay, so commonly you will call them butterfly, but if you will go to their scientific names, you will find that each and every butterfly will be having different scientific names depending on their attributes and depending on what name has been assigned to them. So this is a very beautiful chart by which you can easily depict that what is a species. आपको इस चार्ट से एग्जैक्टली पता लग जाएगा कि स्पीसीज क्या होती है. अगर कोई चीज अलग दिखती है वो अपनी अलग स्पीसीज होगी. ओके, अगर एक ग्रुप है जिसमें सारे इंडिविजुअल सेम दिखते हैं, इट मींस दैट दे बिलोंग टू द सेम स्पीसीज इफ दे आर फंडामेंटली सिमिलर. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, सो व्हाट इज बायोडाइवर्सिटी? हियर बायो मींस लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स and diversity means variety or the variation. So different kind of organisms you can see around yourself that makes the biodiversity. Okay, so if you will look around you, you will find a large variety of living organisms, be it the potted plants. It means that, let's say you have stepped out of your house. If you have basically gone out of your house, you will see a lot of trees, you will see a lot of plants, you will see a lot of herbs, you will see a lot of grasses, you will see a lot of human beings that maybe your neighbors or someone is maybe passing by from you know from outside your house, so you can just observe him. He is also a human being, he is also a living organism. Similarly, in your house you can find ants, you can find termites in the wooden articles, you can find cockroaches, you can find lizards. So all these kind of things are what? They are living organisms, and they are organisms of different group of animals or different group of plants. So you can observe insect around you, you can observe birds, you can observe your pets or cats, dogs, buffaloes, cows. You can easily observe them in the village areas, and other animals or plants could also be available. So all of these things are living organisms. Other than that, there are some things that you cannot see with your naked eyes, and these things are called as what? These things are called as the microbes or the microorganisms. They are called as microorganisms because they are minute in size. You cannot see them by your naked eyes. That's why you require a microscope. A microscope. Okay. And what are these microbes? These can be bacteria, because you can't see a bacteria with your naked eyes. You can't see a protozoan, okay, that belongs to the protista, so you can also write protista over here. And a lot of unicellular organisms are a part of this category, so all of them are microbes. But okay, but they are all around you. It means that a lot of microbes are present in your book, on my laptop screen, maybe on this stylus, or maybe on my skin, and maybe inside my body. So there are a lot of microbes which are around you, but you can't see them. Okay, but they are very important part of your biodiversity. If you were to increase the area that you made observations in, the range and variety of organisms that you see would increase. It is a very basic thing and it is very easy to understand. Let's say I live in Haryana. So I am living in a colony called as Keshav Nagar. So let's say I am depicting each and everything of Keshav Nagar on a page. I have just taken a paper, I have taken a pen, and I am making a list of all the species that I have found in my locality, that is Keshav Nagar. And I will be getting, let's say, 40-50 different species over here. If I'll go to the round of my whole city, then the number will increase from 40-50 to what? To 400-500. If I'll go to my district, if I'll go to my state, if I'll go to the whole country, the number of species that I'm going to find will be increasing. For example, there are a lot of things जो कि शायद गुजरात में मिलती हैं, यहाँ नहीं मिलती. So if I'll be searching for those species in Haryana, I may be not getting them. But if I'll go to Gujarat, I'll surely be getting them. So when I increase my area of research, ultimately the things that I'm gonna find over there will ultimately increase. Okay, that is the important point. Obviously, if you will visit a dense forest, you will probably see a much greater number and kind of living organisms in it. This is also very important line. You will go to a well-sustained ecosystem. In forest, there is variety of materials to eat. There are good resources that can sustain a lot of organisms in that locality. So, in a particular forest, there will be variety of grasses, there will be variety of plants, and there will be a lot of animals that are depending on those plant products. So, it is well sustained. It has all different level of organisms. So, if you will go to a dense forest, you will find a lot of species. Okay, just because of the sustainability and good productivity of a forest ecosystem. Now, all right, I need to I need to change the slide. Okay, each different kind of plant, animal, or organism that we see represent a species. We have already talked about it. Each different kind of plant and animal that we see represents a species. Okay, if they are going to be same, for example the human beings, we are going to be the part of very same species. So what we are going to call ourselves? The individual members of a species. Okay, so all the human beings are individual members of the same species. But if there is something which is different than us, it will be put separately in the different species. The number of species that are known or described, which are identified by the scientists till now, is 1.7 to 1.8 million. That can also be called as 17 to 18 lakh. And this is called as biodiversity, because this is the total number of all the types of organism present on earth. So this number is called as our biodiversity. It is the different type of organisms that is found on earth. We should remember here that if you explore new areas, you will find new species. But even if you go to the old areas, you will even find the new species. Now, what is the logic behind this? What is the logic? We need to take a slide so that we can basically understand this thing in a better way. How to understand this? Okay, how to understand this? Let me take a light color. All right. So let's say there is an area where I have done research, and in that area I have found out around 300 species in total. Okay, after that I went to a new area. So if I'll go to a new area, then other than these 300 species, I have found around 40 species which are new. Okay, so what I am writing afterwards it is 40 species which are new, which are not included in these 300 species. Okay, so these are other than these 300 species that I have found. Okay, so in new areas, what I've got the new species. I got the new varieties. So this is the first point, and I hope this is clear. But when I will go to the old locality or the old area, I will even found some sort of new species. If I have found 300 species earlier, this time I may be found 5 more new species. How? Because let's say last time my work was not precise. So what are the reasons for this? The reasons for this is last time my work was not that precise, so that I can found 100% of the species in my locality. Okay, so I got some remaining new species now. Okay, I got the remaining species now. So that was the mistake, or that was the thing that got skipped last time. Second important thing is a process in biology called as speciation. Okay, speciation means the creation of species. With the time, some species need to modify, and those things modifies in such a way that they obtain new characters and they become a all new species. So these 5 more species that you have found right now, they can be skipped in the last time research, और they can be new species. यानी हो सकता है कि लास्ट टाइम आप एक दो स्पीसीज को नोट करना भूल गए हो, तो ये वो स्पीसीज भी हो सकती है, और ये वो स्पीसीज भी हो सकती है जो स्पेशिएशन से नहीं बनी. तो अल्टीमेटली आप पुराने इलाके में भी जाओगे, इफ यू विल गो टू इवन द ओल्डर एरियाज, there is a probability that you will found some great new species or some new names over here. So I hope that you got the concept of species very well. Now we are going to talk about some more things in detail. Now, what are local names? The local names are also called as the vernacular names. Okay, they are also called as the vernacular names. So what are vernacular names? If you will go to a locality, you will find that there is a plant which is known in that locality by a different name. If you go to some other state, it will be called by some other name. For example, calotropis. Okay, calotropis. We know this plant very well. Okay, you know this plant very well. Now this calotropis is called as aak in Haryana. If you will go to Rajasthan, it will be called as akda. Okay, if you will go to MP, it will be called as madar. So the calotropis is known by different names in different regions of the same country. So it will create confusion. Let's say a person from MP is coming to Haryana and is calling that where I will find a madar tree. We will not be able to answer that because we know that it is called as Aak in Haryana. So that becomes very important to standardize the name, because in our specific areas we know different kind of things by the local name, and these local name could vary from place to place, as we have seen right here that it is called as Aak at one place, Agda at second one, and Madar at third one, and it may be known by variety of names in different states of India. So what we need to do is we need to standardize the name so that there will be no confusion. If I'll be calling a particular organism by a same name, it should be same in the whole universe, it should be same in the whole earth. Okay, so that's why the nomenclature is important. So what is nomenclature? Nomenclature is the process by which naming of an organism is done. Naming of an organism is done. Let's say our name is, human's name is Homo sapiens. Okay, so it is done by some sort of rules, some sort of protocols which are followed to give us this name. Similarly, let's say potato is called as what? Potato is called as Solanum tuberosum. So if I'm writing it in such a way, it is written in the virtue of some important rules. Let's say there is brinjal. So what brinjal is going to be called as? It will be called as Solanum melongena. Okay, Solanum melongena. So these names are given on, given to variety of things on the basis of some protocols. So we need to standardize the naming of living organisms so that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. It means that now the calotropis will not be known by Aak, Madar or Akda name. If you are going to call it calotropis, anybody in each and every corner of the world will take you to the calotropis and you can easily identify that plant. So to avoid the confusion, the standardization of name becomes a very important part in the systematics, in the taxonomy, and that's why nomenclature is done. So this process of naming variety of species is called as nomenclature. But before giving name to something, you need to understand that what that thing is. So You need to describe a thing in a most appropriate way. You need to identify that thing, whether it is a plant, whether it is an animal, whether it is a protozoan, whether it is an arthropod, whether it is an porifera. You need to identify that what is that organism. After that, you can relate it with some already identified organisms or creatures, and then you can do the nomenclature. It means that आपको नाम रखने से पहले ये पता होना चाहिए कि वो ऑर्गेनिज्म है क्या, उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज क्या क्या है, वो कौन सी कैटेगरी से बिलोंग करता है. तो आपको आइडेंटिफिकेशन करनी पड़ेगी, क्लासिफिकेशन करनी पड़ेगी, देन यू कैन डू द नॉमेनक्लेचर. सो व्हाट इज द बेस ऑफ टैक्सोनॉमी? What is the base of taxonomy? There are four pillars of taxonomy. Four pillars of taxonomy. And what are those four pillars? That four pillar is characterization. Okay, characterization, identification, identification, classification, and nomenclature. These are the four different pillars of taxonomy. I am going to elaborate all these four pillars at the very same point so that it will avoid confusion. It is a topic that comes after some time, but I am going to describe it today at the very same point so that you can understand the further concepts in an easy way. Let's say that you have found a particular creature. You have found a particular creature. So let's say this is a new creature which is not identified till date. So how you will identify that what it is? Firstly, you need to do the first pillar. You need to go to the first pillar, that is characterization. As the name indicates, its name contains characters. So you need to identify the character that yes, there is 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 leg, 4 leg, 5 leg, 6 leg. There are 3 pair of legs. Okay. There is exoskeleton that is formed up of chitin. There is chitinous exoskeleton. Okay, there is presence of compound eyes. Okay, there is presence of compound eyes. There is presence of antenna. There is presence of antenna. Okay, there is 2 pair of wings which is present over here. Okay, that is forewing and hind wing. So there is 2 pair of wings which is present over here. Okay, there are joint appendages. Okay, there is joint appendages. So, and other characters also which are important anatomically, appendages. So these are some characters that I have noted down. So firstly I'll take a paper and I'll note down all its characters. So it will be called as what? It will be called as characterization. Now on the basis of these characters, I can easily identify what it is because I know all its character. अब मैं इसके बारे में सारी चीजें जान चुका हूँ. So I can identify that what is this organism. I mean from which category it is. For example, it contains 3 pair of legs. I know very well that it is an insect. That it is an insect. It has joint appendages. I know very well that it's an arthropod. And if it's an arthropod, it will be an animal. Okay. Chitinous exoskeleton, it's again an insect. It's again an arthropod. Then all these characters are saying that it's an insect. So it is confirmed from this particular thing that yes, it is an insect. So it will be placed in kingdom Animalia. It will be placed in phylum, Arthropoda. After that, it is placed in class Insecta. So we knew a lot of things about this creature already. Now we are going to classify it. Classify it means we are going to classify it into variety of categories. We are going to put it into variety of categories. Sorry. For example, species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. So what is kingdom? It is an animal, so it will be placed in kingdom Animalia. Phylum, it will be placed in phylum Arthropoda. Class, it will be placed in class Insecta. And similarly, it will be given order, family, genus, and species so that we can understand all the points about it. It could be classified. And on the basis of its classification, the name is also given to this particular newly found creature. And these two things, that is species and genus, represents the name of a particular organism. Name of a particular organism. Okay. For example, if you will talk about the name of human beings, that is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. So here in this particular case, Homo means genus and sapiens means species. Alright. So these are the 4 pillars of taxonomy. What you need to do is you initially have to do the characterization. It means you need to note all the characters of the newly found organism so that you can make further conclusions out of it. Then you need to identify that organism. That on the basis of characters, what does this particular organism belongs to? What is its category? And if you found that category, you need to do the classification. You will keep this individual into different categories. And then nomenclature is done. It means that finally you will give name to this particular creature, this newly found creature, by knowing that what it is exactly related to. You will place it in a category of related animals. Okay, so these are the four pillars. So to understand the importance of this particular thing, to understand the importance of nomenclature, you need to go through the three steps earlier, that is characterization, identification and classification. Now ICBN and ICZN. As I've already told you guys that standardization of names is very important. Okay, so to do the naming, some procedures, okay, are designed so that you can assign the scientific name to each and every organism. If an organism is known, if an organism is described, you can give name to it. You can give it scientific name on the basis of some procedures and protocols. And these protocols are accepted by all the biologists all over the world. It means that there is a rule book, and that rule book is followed by each and every biologist. So if you found a new animal, you need to give the name of that animal according to that rule book. If you found a plant, you need to give the name of that plant according to that rule book again. So there are some international bodies, and those international bodies gives the scientific names. For example, for plants, the scientific names are based on the principles and criteria that are provided by ICBN. So what is ICBN? International Code, International Code, okay, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. For botanical nomenclature. अब the word that is coming over here is botanical. So what is botanical? Botany is related to the study of plants. So obviously it will give the names of plants only. It will not give the names of animals. Now there is ICZN that gives the name of animals. So what is ICZN? International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Of Zoological Nomenclature. So it is a body that gives the names of the animals. So botanical nomenclature, then the zoological nomenclature. So ICBN gives the name of plants and ICZN gives the name of animals, and they used to make sure that each and every species will have only one name only. Alright, if let's say that two of the scientists have discovered the same species, let's say there is a cockroach. So that cockroach is discovered by a scientist called as Khan in India. Okay, in India. And let's say there is a scientist called as Wilson who is working in South America, and he got a cockroach over there. And both of these scientists tried to get the name into the list of total number of identified species. So Khan gave the name in 1999, and it is a correct name according to the new rule book. And Wilson gave the name in 2001. So this will be the accepted name because he has given the name earlier, and both of them are giving the description of very same species. So only one name will be present as the standard name, and the second thing, okay, the name given by Wilson will be the synonym. Okay, synonym. It could be used, but the standard name will be one that is given by Khan. Okay, so this is the principle of priority. It is called as principle of priority. So they used to serve on first come first serve basis. If you are the first one to give a correct name, your name will be finalized. If the name that you have given is incorrect and someone else comes and he proposes a name that is correct, then his name will be taken into consideration. So the full form of ICBN and ICZN is very important from examination point of view. It is asked already in the past year question papers. Now the binomial nomenclature is given so that the names of variety of things could be done. The naming of variety of things could be done. So binomial nomenclature, here bi simply means two, and nomenclature means the scheme of naming. So in binomial, bi means two and nomial means names. Okay, It means that in a name there will be two parts. For example, my name is Vipin Sharma. For example, my name is Vipin Sharma. So this is a binomial name because I do have two things. First is my name and the second thing is my surname, right? Similarly, all the organisms would be given the names according to this only. So, biologists follow a universally accepted principles to provide scientific names to known organisms. Each name has two components, that is the generic name and the specific epithet. In the last slide, I have already told you guys that in a name, the first part represents genus and this genus is called as the generic name. It is called as the generic name. And the second thing is called as the species or it is called as the specific epithet. It is called as the specific epithet. Okay, so that's why it is called as binomial name because there are two different components. First one is genus and second one is species. Okay, that's why it is binomial. So it is called as binomial nomenclature. This scheme is given by Carolus Linnaeus and you will be astonished to know that the name of this scientist was not Carolus Linnaeus from the beginning. The name of this scientist is Carl von Linné. Okay, Carl von Linné. But in his name, there are three different things which are coming. First is name, then second is middle name, and then his surname. So what he has done basically, he has converted his name in binomial nomenclature also. Okay, because he has given that particular scheme, so he should follow that scheme as well. So he converted his name into Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. So it became binomial, one name and one surname. So Carolus Linnaeus is a very genius scientist who has given the scheme of binomial nomenclature and this is practiced in the whole world. For example, the scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. Okay, here Mangifera is the genus and indica is the species. So let's talk about some rules of binomial nomenclature and let's understand them properly. So the biological names are generally in Latin and are written in italics. Okay, so just like this Mangifera indica is written in italics, the words, the alphabets are a little bit tilted. For example, if I'll be writing my name in standard language, it will be like this, Vipin Kumar Sharma. It will be like this. But if I'll be writing them in italics, it will look something like this, Vipin Kumar Sharma. Okay, italics is a little bit tilted. So we used to write the scientific names in such way so that it represented in italics. And these words, this Vipin, this Kumar and this Sharma will be taken from Latin. This will be taken from Latin. Okay, and why it is taken from Latin? Because Latin is a dead language. Latin is a dead language. And now what is a dead language? A dead language is a language where no words could be added, and no words could be removed. Okay, can you give life to a dead organism? Obviously not. Can you kill him even more than death? Obviously not. So a dead thing becomes stagnant. It is going to be constant now. If it is a dead language, there will be no changes. If I'll just write one line over here, there will be no changes in this language for thousands of years. So for example, I'm writing a research paper right now. Okay, if I'm going through a research paper, I'm writing a lot of manuscripts, then the idea of that research paper could be read and could be understood easily by the students who are going to read it 1,000 years later. Why? Because it is written in such a way. It is written in such a language that is not going to change for thousands of years. There is a lot of vocabulary that is going to be added in Hindi, that is going to be added in English in coming time as well. There are a lot of changes that are being constantly added to variety of languages and that is obviously needed sometimes. But a dead language is very important in science because let's say if we are reading some manuscript in Sanskrit, we can understand it till date as well because there is no major change in Sanskrit from that time to now. But if you will write it in some language that has been changed drastically, for example Korean, basically the alphabets of Korean languages were derived from the Chinese language, but now they have derived their own alphabets which are much simpler. So if they have written a research paper 100 years ago, it couldn't be understood by the Korean students who are reading the new Korean language right now. So it becomes very important in science to read and understand the same language or the data language. And that's why it is been said that the Latin is used by the scholars. It is the language that has been used by the research scholars. Okay, research scholars. All right. So the words were from Latin and they are written in italics. I hope this thing is clear. The first word of the biological name is genus or the generic name, and the second component or the second word is species or the specific epithet. We know that very well. Both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined. Okay, they are underlined and that too separately to indicate their Latin origin so that we can understand that they are Latinized. If you will see all the names that I have written, okay, that I have written, they are separately underlined. Okay, for example, I have written some names over here. Yes, Homo sapiens. So I have written Homo sapiens. Homo is separately underlined, sapien is separately underlined. Solanum is separately underlined, tuberosum is separately underlined. Solanum is separately underlined, melongena is separately underlined. So these are the correct names that I have drawn over here. Second thing that you can note from this particular name is that the first alphabet of genus is capital, that is capital H, capital S, capital S. These are capitalized. But the first alphabet of species is obviously small. It is small s. Okay. It is small t. It is small m. So these are small alphabet. That's how the naming is being done in the final shape, in the final system. Okay. So the first word which denotes the genus start with a capital letter, while the first word or the first alphabet of specific epithet starts with a small letter. It could be illustrated by the following example, Mangifera indica. Now if you will be seeing this particular thing, it is italicized, and since it is italicized, it is not underlined since it is printed. But if I'm going to write the same name with my hands, if I'm going to write this Mangifera indica like this, I need to separate both the things, okay, with separate lines. Okay, so Mangifera indica will be written separately. This is very, very important. All right. So now let's talk about some more things. The name of author appears after the specific epithet. Sometimes the name of author also appears after the specific epithet at the end of biological name. So the full name of author is not taken into consideration. It is written in abbreviated form or it is written in a short form. For example, Mangifera indica, where Mangifera is the genus, indica is the species, and Lin is written in the Roman script or the basic English script, which indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. So this species was first given by Linnaeus. How it could be elaborated? It could be elaborated by a very simple thing. You need to abbreviate the name. Okay, you need to, okay, let me take a screen. All right. You need to write it in the abbreviated fashion. For example, this is Mangifera, which is the genus, indica, which is the species, and now what you need to do is after Mangifera and indica you need to write Lin, that is capital capital L I and double N, and dot, which simply means the abbreviation of Linnaeus. Okay, so Linnaeus is abbreviated as Lin dot. Okay, and it is in the same script. The very important thing is it is not italicized. It is not italicized. If you will go to the last slide and if you will watch this particular thing, it is not written in this way. It is not italicized. Okay, it is written in the basic Roman script the way it is. Okay, so this is the most important point that is not given in NCRT, but it is asked sometimes. Okay, so representation of the name is also very important. So these should be underlined separately if handwritten, or they would be italicized, but this will not be italicized at all. You need to mark it very, very carefully. Okay, you need to mark it very, very carefully. So I hope this is clear to you guys, the binomial system of classification. It is very, very important from examination point of view. In the next lecture, we will be doing the comparative analysis of taxonomy and systematics. So this is a separate topic and it is an independent topic. So we will be talking about that in the next lecture. Okay, we will be talking about the pillars of taxonomy and taxonomy versus systematics in the next lecture, which is going to be a very small lecture for you guys so that it could be easily understood. So guys, if you really enjoyed this video, then you can like our videos, you can subscribe to our channel, and you can use the code Vipin to take Unacademy's Plus subscription to be a part of my batch, which is already ongoing and we got a lot of students in our batch and they are performing really well. You can ask the students who has joined my plus batch whether they are satisfied or not. I used to get very good ratings in each and every class. So the students are performing really well, and I hope that you are also going to do the same. We are targeting 360 marks of at least some students, so please be a part of that course. And thank you so much for watching this video. Please enroll in my special classes which are entirely free of cost. There is a link given in the description, that is Vipin 007. Okay, you can directly search it up on Unacademy's learning app and you will be following me over there for my free special classes which happens on daily basis. I am practicing around, okay, I'm getting the students around 50-60 questions to be solved each and every day. So please make sure to be a part of that. Thank you so much. Lots of love. We'll surely catch you in the next video. Thank you.